G'day gamers, Aussie Wargamer here on Cinderfall Gaming, and welcome to the channel, and I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. I'll be helping Luke out on a few videos covering some of my favourite games, including Rumble Slam, the Harry Potter's Adventure miniature game, and of course Gaslands, which is probably my favourite tabletop miniature game at the moment. Now, Gaslands, on this video, I want to just give you a very brief overview of the game. I'm not going to spend too much time on the game itself. So, brief overview on the game, what you need to get started with the game, and the next steps that you can take. Now, Gaslands is a fantastic game of post-apocalyptic vehicular mayhem. The basic premise is that Earth has colonized Mars, and Mars secedes from Earth and then launches an attack on Earth, turning Earth into a post-apocalyptic wasteland. And of course, what do you want to do in the post-apocalypse other than watch TV? So they came up with this TV show called Gaslands, and Gaslands is basically a race to the death, and the winner of the race gets a ticket to Mars. Now, this is a fantastic game, and one of the things that makes it so good is its ease of entry. It is very, very cheap and easy to get into. So the first thing you'll want to grab is this book here, Gaslands Refulled. Now, this is the second and current edition of the game. The first edition was one of Osprey's blue books in their blue book line, and it's a great little book as well, but this one is the one you want. This book has so many cool things, new bits and bobs that the first edition doesn't have. Now, everything that I point to today, I'll have a link in the description below for an Australian vendor that I use and like, and you'll be able to get all your Gasland stuff there. So look out for that in the description below. But you'll want to grab this book first, because not only does this book go through the rules of the game, which are quite simple but a lot of fun. It goes through different types of attacks, great examples, and then it goes through how to build your team of vehicles. So there's a bunch of different types of cars, and then weapons and equipment that you can build your vehicles out of, including remote controlled car bombs and a wall of amplifiers, grabber arms, lightning projectors, miniguns, splash weapons, flamethrowers, all sorts of amazing things that you can put on your cars. And the book also has rules for teams. So different factions have different rules depending on where they're from and what they value, and there's also different scenarios in here as well. So the most common way of play is the death race, where teams of cars race against each other through a track from the finish line. But there's all sorts of other things as well. You can have the arena of death, capture the flag, flag tag, express delivery there. You can go zombie bash is in here, big game hunter, monster truck smash if you want to get some monster trucks together and have a big battle. It is, just chock full of fantastic stuff, including a system for narrative campaigns if you want to link your games together, which I think is just fantastic. Once you get the book, there's not much else that you need to get started. You need some Hot Wheels cars, of course. Any old cars will do. These, I think, are just $2 here in Australia, but if you've got a child, you can steal theirs, of course. And you'll need some D6. Now, these D6 are special dice called skid dice. And you'll need to, there's a chart in here, I can't quite find it, but you'll need to get the chart that's in here and convert your dice to these skid dice. So on the skid dice there are three what's called shift, 1 hazard, 1 spin, and 1 skid. So if you have 1 to 3, 1, 2, and 3 as shift, 4 is hazard, 5 is spin, and 6 is slide. And once you know those, it's just a matter of rolling the dice. And then in the back of the book here are these movement templates, because that's how the movement in Gaslands works. You take your car and choose a template, and then put the template in front of your car, and then move your car to the end of the template. And one of the great things about these templates, and one of the most fun, exciting things about the game, is that there's no pre-measuring, which means once you have chosen a template, you must use it, whether that means you crash into something, or if you can't use it, you don't get to activate your car, or whatever it is. But once you pick up a template, you have to use it, which can cause some amazing mayhem. So we get these movement templates. You can print them out, stick them on cardboard, and cut them out and use them in the game. But after a game or two, you'll probably want to upgrade your components. In fact, if you're anything like me, you'll want to upgrade those components straight away. And so that is the second purchase that you'll need to get. So grab the book and obviously some Hot Wheels cars as the first thing you want. But the next thing you'll want is some dedicated skid dice. So you don't need to be constantly thinking, all right, now 1 is shift and 4 is hazard or whatever. You want some of these specialized dice. It just makes the game so much easier. Lots of third-party vendors will sell these. They're pretty easy to come by, and again, link in the description below for an Australian seller. And these are just great in the game. You can roll them and see exactly what you get. Now, if you want a more detailed explanation of the game and of the rules, there's also a link below in the description to a video that I made a little while ago that runs through the entire game, gives a breakdown of the rules and things that you'll need to know in order to play the game. So you want to buy the book, you want to get the skid dice, and the next thing you want to do is get yourself a set of these templates. So mine are clear acrylic. I like the clear or slightly cloudy look. I like these guys because you can see what's going on underneath them, but they're also they've got that cloudiness, which means they're easy to see on the table. Now mine are acrylic. You can get MDF, doesn't really matter. Again, bunch of third-party vendors make them, and these templates just make things a whole lot easier. They're more durable than the cardboard ones. They look nicer, better on the table, that kind of thing. So grab the book, grab some skid dice, and grab some templates. Now, you're probably going to want to upgrade your cars eventually. One of the great things about tabletop war games is the hobby aspect of the games themselves, and Gaslands is no different. In fact, the hobby in Gaslands I find so satisfying and so different to the hobby in so many other war games, and that's one of the reasons why I love it. So you'll want to upgrade these. Now there's all sorts of different bits and pieces that you can buy for them to add guns and ramps and rams and plate armor and all sorts of great things. But sometimes just a good custom paint job is all you need. And here's a few examples of my cars with various weapons and different bits and bobs on them. It just adds to the feel of the game, and also it makes it easier to identify the different teams. Some teams are pretty low on technology, some teams are slick and have advanced tech and that kind of stuff. So it just really makes the game a lot more coherent and look great as well. So once you've got the book, the dice, the templates, you're upgrading your cars, you've got a beautiful table, that's all you need to play the game. And here in Australia, maybe discounting terrain, everything you need for this game is going to set you back about $100. And that is one of the beautiful things about this game, is that cheap entry point. It's just so cheap and easy to get into. There's no excuse if you're into games and you want to try something new. There's no excuse not to jump onto Gaslands. It is just a phenomenal game. It's super ridiculous. and fun and silly. Now, on that point, if you're into games that are very precise and clear, then maybe Gaslands is not for you. The rule system is pretty tight, but there can be times where things might get a little bit looser. And in fact, there's a rule in here which basically, I think, sums up the game. If you don't know what to do the thing that causes the most damage or the most carnage or the most mayhem. And that's what this game is all about, just causing damage and mayhem. It is ridiculous and just a stack of fun. I can't iterate that enough. The other great thing about this game is that you can play it a number of different ways. So most tabletop games, you grab one of your friends, you get your army or warband, they get their army or warband, and you play the game. That's how Gaslands is written as well. You put a team of cards together, put them on the table against one of your friends' teams, and you go for it. But that's not the only way to play the game. In fact, my favorite way of playing is to get 5 other people, so 6 of us, all grab 1 car each, and then just have a death race and see what happens. It usually lasts about 2 hours, and it can be utter chaos and nonsense. So, you know, unlike other tabletop games, you can play this with multiple players. It works best at 4 or 5, I think. If you've got 4 players each with 2 cars, then that is just fantastic. Or 6 players with 1 car works just as well. So lots of different ways and different player counts, which for a tabletop game I think is fantastic. Gaslands Refulled, get into it. It's a fantastic game. I can't recommend it highly enough. So you're going to grab this book, you're going to grab these dice, you're going to grab some templates, you're going to upgrade your cars, you're going to put some terrain on the table, and then you are going to have a good time with your friends. Well, that's all from me. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Well, that's the end of the video. We hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And also drop a comment down below letting us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here at Sinful Gaming, we have a Discord server which is linked down in the video's description. Also linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel, either by Patreon, YouTube members, or by grabbing yourself some merch from either our Ko-fi or Teespring stores. All of those things are linked down in the video's description. As a special thank you to everyone who does support us via Patreon and YouTube members, we'd like to give you all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons, Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lowe, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, The Rising 8, Pure Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Benjamin Swallows, Red Martin, Iron Grinch, Nicholas Conomos, Colorblind Magic, Daniel Everington, and Andy C. And to our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty Tabletop Terrain, John Castle, Davis Weir, James South, James Tillman, Dylan Areno, Gargamel 196, and Disco. Thank you all so much for your support, and special shout out to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel, and to everyone who helps run the channel, whether that be on the Discord server as our mods, on our live stream mods, or the guys to come around and help provide the battle reports for you all to watch. Thank you all once again, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.